Okay. Hi. I'm late. I'm almost 10 minutes late, and I'm sorry about that. I was trying to be only 5 minutes late. I'm gonna try to be on time from now on. I don't know if people just like gave up and left, or if they're gonna come back and try again. Um, but someone's watching. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm gonna try to stop doing that. I was trying to be like 5 minutes or less late, but that didn't work. So yeah. So let me read a disclaimer. And let's see, where is it? So, the opinions expressed on this forum is not representative of PLN's official stance. RX's opinion is based on the information available at the time and not PLN's official stance. Not everyone who calls in is a TI. The gang stalkers have a tendency to pretend to be TIs and interfere with activities related to TIs. PLN and RX can't guarantee that TI hour participants, including guests, are real TIs or if what is being said by anyone is true. This isn't to invalidate anyone, but to take into consideration that gang stalkers sometimes pretend to be TIs. Okay. With that said, today's topic is TIs in the workplace. And this includes the stress of the workplace. This includes workplace bullying. This includes industries and places that are better for TIs to work in. So anything pretty much related to the workplace goes right now, if you wanted to. So as same as last week, you could call in. Oh my gosh, I have to log into you could call in. I could also do international numbers if you want. There's a chat on YouTube live stream that you could use to let me know, hey, I'm in, you know, whatever country. Could you please tell me the number to that? And I could give it to you to call in. And um, also, what I found out with TalkShoe is, and I'm using TalkShoe, that's Talkshoe, all one word. I know it's not hard to spell talk shoe. It only throws me off because you know how when sometimes when people make websites or something, they change the spelling or something to make it unique. So I just always want to make sure that I got the spelling right so that you could get it. So that's why I hesitate. Yeah. So with TalkShoe, you don't have to call in. I think you could just go to the website and you go to the website. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to set up TalkShoe here. You could go to the website and you could sign in for an account. And what they're going to do with you is the same thing I'm doing. They'll just let you use the internet to call in. And the call-in number is let you use the internet. So what they're going to do is they're going to use your computer's microphone, and that's how you're going to talk. So you don't have to give out your phone number or anything like that. And that's all up to you. You know, some TIs are afraid that their computers are being taken over, and I'm not making fun of that at all because it does happen. It even happens to non-TIs, and I think everyone in who are not like within the TI community or aware of the TI community know that there are hackers who hack into people's computers and stuffs and phone stuff. So it's not like something like far reaching, so that's a very legitimate concern, even whether or not you are a TI. Um, so if you feel funny about that, maybe you don't want to go that route, but that's the only thing I could do. It's either use your phone or use your computer. And I'm not going to pressure you to use it anyway. Just because I'm using my computer doesn't mean you have to use your computer. You do whatever is best for you and whatever you are most comfortable with. Let's see. So yeah, so you could either use your computer to talk to join in the conversation at TalkShoe, or you could call in and let's see. No, I don't want to do that. I'm just setting up TalkShoe right now. Start video. Okay, good. I'm on TalkShoe. All right, so I'm on TalkShoe right now, so you could definitely call in at that time. What is this? Oh, that's so cool. They added a new feature where you can actually see yourself, I guess. Last time forgot to record my whole thing and it wasn't good, but whatever. So yeah, so now I'm on TalkShoe. So if you want, you can call me on TalkShoe or you can log in. I think you have to start an account to do it. The call number is 605-562-0444 for the US, and the show ID is 8813724. So that's 605-562-0444. And then it's 8813724. And again, I'm so sorry, like I'm all over the place. I was late. Um, so yeah, so that's it for TalkShoe. I'm on TalkShoe. You can contact me on TalkShoe now. And so back to YouTube. All right. So um whoever's watching, thank you for watching. Um, you don't have to say anything, but thank you for watching, and I hope this helps. I mean, I don't, you know what? It would be great if there were like 10 million people watching and getting the most information. Like, I'm not trying to like brand myself or become a star. I just want to make sure that people know what's going on and protect themselves. So even if there's one person watching, I hope it helps. And I don't care if I do this for like 2 years and there's only one person watching. As long as I'm helping one person, that's good enough for me. And then there's people watching on the replay. It's not like a big audience and stuff. And like I said, I'm not doing this for an audience. I'm doing this to help people and probably help change the world and help save the world. I want to be part of the group of people who are going to help save the world. And this is so monumental. Like, I can't wait to get like the momentum going and like for people to like for the audience to see what's going on. I don't know if you watched PLN's videos, but in this is the whole gang stalking thing is essentially bullying. It's extreme psychopathic bullying. That is the basis of it. Okay. And in the bullying scene, the three main groups are the target, and I'm speaking in a non-TI circumstance. There's the target, there's the bully, and there's the audience. Okay. So TIs would be, of course, the target, the bullies would be the gang stalkers, and then the audience would be everyone else who really don't know what's going on. They just know that those two people have a problem with each other and something's going down, and that's it. And they're not involved, or they think, well, you know what? They're not involved unless the bully tries to use them. Mostly, like the TI tries to go to the audience for help, and the bully goes to the audience for resources to help ring in the TIs. And the most important thing that the audience needs to know about, like the whole, I don't want to say it's a triad, but the whole like the bullying scene. And I think PLN's video, I think it's like from romper room to the C-suite. No, from romper room to the boardroom. It goes into bullying. It is a long video, but it's because there's a lot of information in there. I don't expect anyone to sit. I think it's like 3 hours, and I don't expect anyone to sit and watch it. I mean, that's something I could do because I'm just like a nerd like that. You know, just I like nerdy stuff. So, but you can watch it in segments. And the only reason why I say I think it's good for the workplace, and I think it's good for I think it's not only good for the employees, but for the corporation and the companies and the managers, everyone to know what's going on so that they could identify these circumstances and address them, as needed. So yeah, so the audience needs to know that the bully sees the target and the audience, and the bully just wants the audience's attention, you know? And again, I forgot why I'm telling you that. Maybe I'll remember later. Okay, so um I don't know why I went into that. But yeah, so let's see. So I already read the disclaimer. Okay, TIs. Oh yeah, so better jobs, workplace. All right, so yeah, so it's very important. I really forget this one. I really forgot why I was telling you about the disclaimer. And I think I was just trying to say it because the audience should be aware that they could be dragged into this whole mess sooner or later. But whatever. Um, so I'm actually gonna start this off because I think last week I played that video with the girl who with the news story. And after I rewatched it, I realized that you could hear what was going on. So I was like, oh, wow, that's great. So just so I'm not talking all the time and forgetting what I'm saying and then going back and remembering, um, I'm going to do that again. So it's just going to be, I could send you to watch the video, but I think it's better that you listen to it with me. So that way everyone's on the same page. So let's see if I can get this video up. minus, let's see. So let me get the video title. So the video that I'm gonna play for you right now, you're not gonna see it, but you're gonna hear it. And actually, I'm glad that you could hear it because there were some things that I wanted to do with this, but I don't really. I'm not like a super like you know how on YouTube they have people who know how to make videos and do all this kind of really cool stuff. I don't really know how to do that, so I'm just a nerd researcher. So I got to learn all that stuff. So I'm glad that happened because there were some things that I wanted to do. And I was like, okay, well, let me check it out and see if I could actually do it. So, anyway, the video I'm going to show you is called Gang Stalkers Don't Want Targeted Individuals to Have a Job, Remote Neural Monitoring. And before I play that for you, I need to read a disclaimer. So, the disclaimer that I have to read is by showing these videos on the show, PLN and RX aren't asserting that the people in the videos are TIs, gang stalkers, or whatever they claim to be. PLN and RX aren't asserting that what is being said or portrayed in the videos are true or real. PLN and RX aren't supporting or against anything said or portrayed in the videos unless directly stated by PLN or RX. PLN and RX hold a neutral view of these videos. There is no implied support or rejection of anything in the videos unless directly stated by RX or PLN because the videos are being used for illustration purposes. And this is all being said for the same thing. You all know there are gang stalkers who pretend to be TIs. And the last thing I want is to show a video that could be of a gang stalker, pretend to be a TI, and then that person jumps on and say, "Well, Palin showed my video, so or it's just implied, that Palin showed the video, so therefore they check this person out, and this person is real, and you start going off that person. No, so that's why these are being read, so that way I'll tell you, don't trust anyone and keep your guard up at all times. Even with me, things that I present to you or say to you on these videos, check it out for yourself. Make sure it's correct. Make sure, do whatever, due diligence, diligence, take care of yourself, cover your, just be careful out there because as of now, we don't have exposure. There's no exposure. It's just like everything is kind of like everybody for themselves, and the TI community is not that the TI community, from what I see, is not that they don't want to get together and do stuff, but as you can see, it seems like every TI is held in is isolated from the world, and they're surrounded by gang stalkers, and so it's hard for them to really make those connections. And then I was reading stuff about how sometimes gang stalkers start TI organizations, and I think that happened on YouTube where I think there was some network, some channel, and they came out and they were all rough and tough, like we're going to take these perps out and everything like that. And it turned out that the people running it were probably perps themselves, and they hurt a lot of TIs and stuff. So always be careful, and always check things out. And I think, because of that, I think a lot of TIs are hesitant, you probably are suspicious of me. Good. Good. Be suspicious of me and be suspicious of everyone who comes out, starts an organization, says they want to help TIs and stuff. Be suspicious. Take care of yourself because you know how vicious these gang stalkers are. And be suspicious of people who tell you be suspicious because it's like such this big web of deceit. They just keep running this deceit. As soon as they find something works, they'll pretend to be that person or that organization to do that. So you got to always stay on top of your toes. So just be careful of people who force you to trust them and tell you, you have to trust me on this. I need your trust to do this. No, you don't. You don't need my trust to do anything. I don't have to trust you. You have to earn my trust, okay? Trust has to be earned. And be careful of people who try to force you, whether it's an organization that's going to help you, whether it's a person that's going to help you, whether it's the person you're dating, anyone. And does not just apply to TIs, but this also applies to the audience members. Because, I want to do a show that benefits everyone in general, even though the main topic is gang stalking, and the main focus is on TIs and their experience. I want to make sure that this shows up everyone because anyone could become a TI for any reason. And if they feel that they could use you for any reason, yes, they will use you. So don't listen to, or if someone is pressuring you to trust them, if someone's telling you you have to trust them for them to help you, you do not need to trust anyone for them to help you. No. And in a human society, they will not force you. Trust has to be earned in human society, okay? And because humans know you don't just go around trusting everybody because there's bad people out there. You know, I want to believe that the world is this bright, beautiful, sunny place where no one hurts anyone, but of course it's not. So yeah, so be careful of people who try to force you, pressure you, whether covertly or aggressively, or try to buy your trust. Okay? Don't. You don't have to trust anyone to help you. You don't have to trust anyone to get the information you need. You don't have to trust anyone to do anything. Okay? Trust is not an issue. Trust should never ever be an issue. That is something that is yours. And you can decide whether or not you want to trust anyone. You can decide whether or not someone deserves your trust. And I think trust is something that needs to be earned, plain and simple. And trust is not needed for anything to be done. Okay. So if you're getting a bad feeling or bad vibe from someone, or you think that they're like not, no, even if they've been like really like nice and, think they're sincere all the time, just, just take care of yourself, because I mean, at this stage, most TIs are in a situation where there's deceptive people who want to hurt them. So just really take care of yourself and don't feel forced to trust anyone. And don't let anyone tell you that they need your trust to do anything. They don't need your trust to do anything. Trust is not needed to do anything, and they have to earn your trust. And it shouldn't be a big issue. And if you're a TI, I don't know why anyone wouldn't understand why you don't trust anyone. Of course, you're not going to trust anyone. You're like in the most dangerous, you're fighting for your life, basically. Why would you trust anyone like right off the bat? Especially there's like a lot of deception in this. But it's been like 60 minutes and I still haven't played the video or talked about the topic. I guess this is why like I could talk for hours and stuff. And not I could talk for the full hour, but it's just the reason why is because I just feel like there's so much stuff that TIs need to talk about and consider, and it's being addressed. I'm not trying to say that PLN is giving you the only right information. Oh no. No, there's different, because first of all, there's so much stuff going on. There's different perspectives, there's different experiences, and no one really knows what's going on. So I value every opinion. I value everybody's input. So I'm not like I will not devalue any TIs. I don't care if you are, a graduate of a big school or if you're just a TI who has experience. All your information and your input matters. So don't think so PLN is not trying to like be the end all be all of the TI community. Nor and I'm not trying to do that either. I'm just adding to the information pool. Like that's the goal. Add to the information pool. And whenever all this gets figured out, hopefully, it'll get figured out. But whenever it gets figured out, everything will help, just come to the truth. So with that said, I'm going to play you this video. It's going to be just audio because, like I said, I'm just figuring this out. And I know you could hear it now, so I'm not as nervous. It's about 8 minutes long. So just listen to it. If you have any notes, if you want to I said you could either call in or you could chat in. You could chat in on the YouTube live stream, or you could call in on, what's this thing called? TalkShoe, or you could call in on TalkShoe, or you could TalkShoe also has a chat, so you could chat in on TalkShoe, and yeah. And if you don't want to chat on TalkShoe and you don't want to call in, you call in through. You could just use it. I think you could use chat TalkShoe in the same way that you use chat and stuff, and just do that. But let me play this video for you. Why isn't there sound? All right, great. All right, I gotta figure out why there's no sound on this video. Hold on. It worked fine last time, right? Okay, so let's try it a different way. Oh man, this is gonna mess everything up. All right, let's do this. I'm so sorry I'm disorganized today. I'm rambling because I'm disorganized. Let's see, let's try it this way. Let's see. I'm trying to get the video. Okay, for some strange reason, I'm not getting sound. It's strange because last time I got sound. All right. Because the last time I played that clip for you, let's see. I'm sorry. Let me try again. Oh, I'm not getting any sound. All right, so in the video, see, did I do something wrong? All right, so I'm not sure why I'm not getting sound to show you the video, but in the video, the guy is talking about how the gang stalkers stop him from getting jobs. Let me try it one more time. Let me see if it's that particular video. Okay.
The biggest thing about the torture
And he also
stuff that goes on is they attack
Hold
me
on.
while
No,
I'm
I
at
have
work. And I've heard a lot of
it's
people
not
say,
YouTube.
man,
Oh my
so, wow, you have a
god.
job? They won't.
Oh my
Let me have
god.
a
Sorry, I
job.
have like
One
10
of the
screens
things
going at the
my
time.
response is always,
Wow.
I don't need permission.
Where is it?
I do whatever I want to do. I don't need permission.
So now that my microphone wasn't plugged in all the way, so don't blame YouTube. And I'm not making fun of people who say YouTube do things because I don't know what's going on. But it wasn't YouTube. It was my microphone was like plugged in halfway. So I hope you've been hearing me. If you've been hearing, I might be coming in a lot clearer now. Because it was just like plugged in like halfway. So things weren't going through. I wonder if you've been hearing me all this time. Now I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Have they been hearing me? Let's see. Well, I won't know until okay. Let's see. So let's go. This is the video I wanted to play for you. And I think hold on. Okay. This is the video.
Yeah, man. So I was trying to sleep. One of the things that's been going on for the past maybe a month or less, probably less than 2 months, is these gang stalkers are bothering me a lot while I try to sleep. And they didn't used to really. I mean, there's been times when they have, but overall they didn't used to. And now it's like a full-time thing. So anytime that I go to sleep, they're doing stuff to me. Like every single time I wake up, I have like broadcast in my mouth. I could taste broadcast in my mouth. I feel dehydrated. They're like doing something where they've been trying to get into my dreams and just bothering me in general with little broadcast stuff and gang stalking. And gang stalking is mostly about broadcast. Yeah, it's like really, it's like a sleep deprivation tactic. Which brings me to some other things. I do my videos about what they do to me and the torture that I endure on a daily basis. And I put out one yesterday, but it was for the day before. I have one that I need to do for yesterday, and I have one that I need to do for today. And it's both of them are going to take multiple part videos, and it's just a big task. And maybe if I get enough sleep, I'll end up doing some of those today. But the biggest thing about the torture stuff that goes on is they attack me mostly while I'm at work. And I've heard a lot of people telling me, "Oh wow, you have a job? They won't let me have a job." And my response is always, I don't need permission. I do whatever I want to do. I don't need permission, and that's it. So, yeah, I have a job, and they're not going to keep me from having a job, but they definitely do not want me to have a job. And um, the situation is like, I can't have a phone inside my job. All right, that's just how it is at my job. It's like a TSA regulation for normal employees. You can't have a device, So that's when I can't have my meter or my phone to do videos. So that's when they attack me the most. But that's always when they bother me the most when I think about it. Even when I could, you really can't. If you have a job at all, you can't like drop everything and do YouTube videos and stuff like that all the time. So I used to do meter videos and stuff at one of my old jobs. I remember, but it is a big thing that they do is they don't want you to have a job. First thing that happens is you look a lot less like some kind of drug addict or some kind of loser that doesn't have a job. Period. Like, because if you don't have a job, then what are you doing with your life? Second of all, you start to have money. You start to have at least the image of having your shit together. You might have a car or at least money to do the things that you want to do, or at the very least support yourself. They don't want any of that. They would rather you be in prison or on some kind of disability or in a mental home or something like that. They want you completely destroyed and all the way dependent and at the bottom. That's where they want you. And anything that you do against that is going to cause them to give you more problems. But you have to remain defiant because that's what they want. They want you incapable of supporting yourself. They want you incapable of getting a lawyer. They don't want you to look like you have your shit together. They don't want you to have a cool clothes or a car or be able to go anywhere or hang out with people. And a job is really essential for a lot of those things to, you could do it without a job, I guess, but you could do a lot more with one. And so they do everything that they can to make me working um, the most miserable possible. They would love for me to be at the disadvantage of not having a job. So they want to make it as difficult as they can so they can try to deter me from making money. And I've taken a lot of steps, I've taken a lot of steps, to make my life better since I quit letting them destroy my life. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to go about this the right way. And I'm just going to grind and get so big and so successful that I'll be able to do whatever I want, including file lawsuits, get lawyers, have plenty of credibility, make my videos, make them even better, expand everything, start companies, bring all of this to the light. And the more money and success that you have, the more dangerous you are, especially if you know what's going on with gang stalking and remote neural monitoring and artificial telepathy and EMF broadcast. If you start to understand all of these things, I know how they do a lot of what they do. So what if I start hiring private investigators? Or what if I start hiring internet security firms, to dig up what the hell have they been doing on my Instagram and my Facebook? What if I do that? It's definitely in the playbook. You're not going to be doing much of that without a job. So yeah, they want you to not have a job. It's like more job security for them. If you don't have a job, then you're going to be very limited to what you can do about them. The more successful you become, the more you can do about them, and the more credibility you'll have. And the better your life will be overall. So even though they try to take every step to make you miserable and make it difficult to maintain a lifestyle where you can keep a job and be productive and important to a company or to your own company, to whatever it is that you're doing to make money, you have to do that anyway. You have to remain defiant. You have to stay persistent. I can't remember the last time I called into work. It's been, I mean, I started back at this job in October. I haven't called out, not once. I might have been late a few times. That's it. I haven't called out, I'm not going to. Now, not even a year later, I'm in a position where it's very important and a lot of people rely on me. And it's only getting better from there. It's only going to get better. Because I'm not letting these gang suckers stop me. I'm not letting them destroy my life. I don't need their permission to get a job. And they could try to torture me and attack me with their little broadcasts and do all kind of things to me. It's like a punishment, too. Oh, you making money? We're going to punish you. That's their mindset. But you could do it, and you could do whatever you want to do. And it's a really good idea to do that. Makes it a lot easier to help yourself.
All right, so let me turn that off. Oh gosh. So that was that video. Someone just joined in. Let me read the disclaimer. Let's see, where is it? By showing these videos on the show, PLN and RX aren't asserting that the people in the videos are TIs, gang stalkers, or whatever they claim to be. PLN and RX aren't asserting that what is being said or portrayed in the videos are true or real. PLN and RX aren't supporting or against anything said or portrayed in the videos unless directly stated by PLN or RX. PLN and RX hold a neutral view of the videos. There's no implied support or rejection of anything in the videos unless directly stated by PLN or RX because the videos are being used only for illustration purposes. So I just found out that my mic might have been muted. So I don't know if like the first maybe like 15 to half hour of the video, you probably saw me talking. I don't know if you heard me talking. I won't know that until after I play back the live stream. But if you did, it was my fault. I didn't have my mic plugged in all the way. So I don't know if the computer used my, if my, so I don't know if you could have heard me. So in case you didn't hear everything I said, basically in the beginning, I just read the disclaimer. Let me see. The opinions expressed on this forum is not representing of PLN's official stance. RX's opinion is based on the information available at the time and not PLN's official stance. Not everyone who calls in is a TI. The gang stalkers have a tendency to pretend to be TIs and interfere with activities related to TIs. PLN and RX can't guarantee that TI hour participants, including guests, are real TIs, or if what is being said by anyone is true. This isn't to invalidate anyone, but to take into consideration that gang stalkers sometimes pretend to be TIs. And in case there was no audio for that first 15 minutes to half hour that I was speaking, all I was saying was don't trust anyone who tries to force or pressure you to trust them. Who claim that you have to trust them in order for them to help you or do anything for you. The reason for that being and I think that's very important, is because trust is not needed for anything to be done. Trust is not needed for someone to help you. Okay, if someone wants to help you, they could help you without your trust. Okay, they could do things for you without you trusting them. So don't feel pressured or forced into trusting anyone. And I think anyone who sees a situation that TIs are in should never ever force anyone to trust them, because
I mean, they're in a situation where people are pretty much deceiving them. Their TIs are fighting for their life. Deception is all over the place. I mean, this whole thing is like a web of deceit. This whole gang stalking thing and like the beast, it's just like a big web of deceit. So if you are someone who wants to help a TI, don't force anyone to trust you. Don't say that you need somebody's trust to do anything, you know. And I would be very skeptical of someone who tries to force me to trust them. And this is if the audio was if you could hear me during the first half, then you know how that topic came about. But if you didn't, it's just like in general, just for you to take care of yourself. You don't need to trust anyone to help you, and just be careful who you trust and take care of yourself. So with that said, so that was to start the topic off. There are some things he said in there that were really, really, really relevant. Which is one of the things a lot of TIs, the first thing they mess with is your finances. How do you mess with someone's finances? Well, you attack their ability to work. A lot of TIs can't find jobs. They end up homeless. They end up on the street. They might go through a job and then get fired or quit or something like that. So a lot of TIs end up not working. And I play that video because he sums up the TI view pretty well. You know, I think he says a lot of things that TIs go through, and I think he says a lot of things that TIs feel. And from what I've researched and I think that was it was like a 9-minute summary of the general consensus out there among TIs. Either they don't want you to work, or if you find a job, they're going to make your life hell at the job. They're going to torment and torture you and do all kinds of stuff at the job. And the reasons why they don't want you to work, you know, is to keep you in the situation, to help discredit you. You know, sometimes a job unless you're independently wealthy, a job can be a status symbol, you know. Whereas, you know, sometimes people do look down on people who don't have jobs, and that's because there are freeloaders, people who don't want to work. There are people who are generational welfare recipients who never want to work. They just want to be on the welfare unleashed system. And that's not, you know, from what I've seen, it's not like, you know, a lot of people, when they hear that, they're like, oh, these, you know, whoever says that is wrong. No, I've seen people who, through this research on gang stalking, I'm not really familiar with, like, you know, generational. I mean, I don't want to say this. Sometimes when people say that, they think it's elitist, or only rich people say that because they don't understand. No, there really are people who are generational welfare recipients, and a lot of them are not TIs. There are gang stalkers that I've noticed who want to be on welfare, who don't want to work, who want to just have time to go and do these little stupid things that they do, you know, and get money some other way and then live off the government. So that statement of generational welfare recipients, they do exist. Is everyone on welfare a generational welfare recipient? No. Or do they want to be on welfare? No. Example, the TIs. Sometimes TIs are forced to be on welfare because they can't find a job, because the gang stalkers are doing things so that they don't have a job, so they're not self-sufficient. And what it all comes down to is the reason why a lot of TIs end up on welfare is not because they don't want to work. It's not because they're lazy. It's not because they're mentally ill and can't hold a job. It's because, you know, they're being sabotaged. They're being kept out of the work environment for some of the reasons that this video has stated. And I put the title of the video in the chat thing. And so TIs are kept out of work. And one of the main reasons why, and I'm looking at this from the gang stalker's tactic and the end goal, the main reason why they don't want a lot of TIs to work, and they actually attack your finances, is all based on dependency. It's all based on dependency. They want you to be dependent on someone. And guess who that someone is? They want you to be dependent on them. And that's where the trust issue comes in. Because if you're broke and you're like stressed out because you can't pay the rent, you know, you get a little bit more desperate, and they could step in. Oh my God, I'm sorry. So let me help you. Let me help you. Let me help you. I'm gonna, give you a job. I'm gonna help you with this month's rent. I'm gonna point you to, so this is important. I'm gonna point you to this organization that's gonna help you. And what happens is they're kind of like passing you along to the next gang stalker. So maybe they're not gonna do it, but maybe they were the person that was able to pressure you into trusting them. And some of the ways that they pressure you into trusting them is they could try to buy your trust, and which is like they're giving you gifts, they're like taking you out to dinner, like they're buying your trust, they're buying you stuff, they're buying you, do you need clothes? Do you need soap? Do you need this? They're buying your trust, they're like throwing money at you, they're getting you things you need. Another thing is they tell you that they'll try to pressure you into trusting them, and it could be covertly, like, well, I need you to do this for me to help you. Oh, I know you're not comfortable with doing this, but you have to do this for me to help you. And it's not like they're telling you to trust them. They're not like, oh yeah, well, I need you to trust me and give me this information. They're like, that's like a pressure, and that's not like the best example, but it's like the pressure and trust them to get the information. And then so that's one way. And then they could just be kind of like direct about it. I need you to trust me for me to help you. And like I said, you don't need to trust anyone for them to help you. If you need their trust to help you, I'd be very skeptical. Maybe you shouldn't be trusting them, because what does my trust have to do with you helping me? If you're going to help me, you're going to help me. If you're not, then whatever. I don't have to trust you, because I know it's my opinion. And I think in a human society, you have to earn someone's trust. You just go, humans are not stupid. That's why they still rule the world. They're not this network. But humans know that you just don't go around throwing your trust to everyone, because there are people out there who are deceptive, and who there are bad people out there. I don't want to think there's bad people or evil people out there, but they are. You got to protect yourself against them. So one of the things, they want to build dependency. And so, like, if you can't pay your rent, someone's going to step in to help you. So I was watching this video, which I think is so interesting. I was watching this video the other day, and this actually comes into play, because this guy, he was talking about psychopaths, and he said, he referenced, and I think this is a line from The Silence of the Lambs or something like that. I think that's a movie about the guy who's a cannibal and stuff. But he was talking to like the psychiatrist girl or something, and he said to her, when the rabbit falls into the trap, or gets caught in the trap, the fox comes. Okay, when the rabbit gets caught in the trap, the fox comes running, but not to help. And you need to realize that when you fall into the trap, you have no job, you have no money, you can't pay your rent, you're homeless, and you just want to get out of that shelter, the fox is going to come running, but to feed, not to help. And these people are like that. They're predators. They prey on people. When you are in need, when you're in that situation, they will come running. They'll love bomb you. They'll swarm you. And you'll get everything. Oh, let me help you. Are you okay? Da, da, da. But they're just coming to feed. They're coming to feed. So be careful who you trust. And that goes back to dependency. When you're in that helpless situation, you're dependent. And the really twisted and diabolical thing about these people is that they lead you into that trap. So what they do is they prevent TIs from having jobs. They do things and cause all kind of chaos in the TI's life. So they do become needy and helpless and fall into a trap in a way. And then they'll say help. I was just trying to help you. No, you came to feed. You came to feed. You knew I was in a trap. You knew I was desperate. You knew I was crying out for help. You heard me crying out for help, but you came to feed. You did not come to help, And so I think that's important. I was hoping someone would comment, but you guys don't feel comfortable commenting, and I might say, oh, I wish somebody would comment, but don't ever feel like you have to comment. You comment on your terms and when you want to. And if you feel like it, if you just want to watch, so I just want to know, even though like I'm hoping somebody will say something one day, you don't have to. I'm not pressuring you to. Don't do anything you don't want to do. Let's see. So that was one thing. And oh my gosh, I think I logged out of my I wanted to see what was happening on Talk Show. Oh, there it goes. Oh, thanks. Okay, so I haven't read any comments on TalkShoe, but I'm gonna play another video. I think. Let me see what's on the agenda. Let's see. I have my notes out because, as you can see, sometimes I tend to ramble. If you've just joined on the replay, what happened in the beginning was I didn't have my mic plugged in all the way, so I'm not sure if there was no audio, if there was any audio, and I can't really check right now because the show is still live. So let's see. Let's see. I think I'm set to play. So that was the video. You could check out that video if you want. I put it in the thingy, in the chat thing. And the next video I wanted to play was the show might go a little bit over 5 minutes because I was over 5 minutes late to. So the next thing I want to play is this. Let me get it out. Oh, these commercials are so annoying. Remember when YouTube didn't have any commercials? It was great, wasn't it? All right, that's the same video. Hold on, I got the wrong link. All right, so the next video I want to play is about workplace mobbing. It's around 4 minutes long.
Is forming a group to harass an individual, especially at work. It may commence as bullying, but when there is pressure, rumors, perks, and fear, it soon spirals to collective hatred if the management intends on eliminating an employee. What is in the minds of the bullies? The people never admit that they are wrong. They just aim in ruining someone's life. Those who participate in mobbing are deceived and think of it to be a sort of war, somewhat like a terrorist who thinks he is engaged in a holy war, sort of fervent missionaries fighting for their cause. They have no idea their activities are ethically and legally immoral. Irrespective of the good terms that the mobbing crowd has had with the target, they see the target as a threat to their job and look for prospects to team up with the management against the target. Even the most decent of person can engage in aggressive and damaging acts. They are least bothered about the consequences. They just wish to get rid of the target. They will never have an answer for their doings. When confronted, they behave as if nothing is wrong, and they are still your close friends and co-employees who are very helpful in nature. Who are the targets? Don't be under the influence that the loners are beleaguered. In fact, the most liked people in the office are the ones who are most vulnerable. Such people are a threat to the popularity of the bullies, thus becomes a target for being mobbed. Targets are seen both prejudicially and stereotypically. One may be targeted for their religion, sexual preference, disability, race, or age. Targets are usually skilled employees, especially when the one bullying is the boss. They think you are overshadowing their work and develop an inferiority complex. How to know one is being mobbed? The people who were once friendly refuse to get into a conversation. Cold shoulder treatment and being singled out will become a common affair. Anonymous hatred comments suddenly begin to pop up. Personal supplies, etc., are missing or in the dust bins. Being ridiculed for even the smallest thing, for instance, the color of the clothes that an individual is wearing, or the bag that he or she is carrying. Work files are sabotaged on purpose, and no one is ready to help for the damage caused. The target will be the subject of scrutiny, and every move that one makes is questioned. How to deal with mobbing? When it comes to racial discrimination or sexual harassment, there are legal options. Mobbing is done in a hidden way, and exposing them is one of the ways to get things under control. Since they are working together in a mob, the target should also form a group or get an ally. Bossing them out actually works. Measure the pros and cons of working in such an environment. Are things too dangerous? Are they consequences of mobbing leading to health problems, such as depression, stress, etc.? If needed and situation cannot be handled, change the job.
Oh,
Now, there are 5
Okay.
phases of the mobbing
So-
process.
that was pretty much summing up mobbing. If you see me, so if you're watching me on live stream, I'm responding to people chatting on. If you're watching me on YouTube, I'm responding to people who are chatting with me on Talk Show. So that's why you see me tapping and stuff. Yeah. So thank you. Yes. It was A Silence of the Lamb. Thanks. I'm glad I got the movie right. I've never seen that movie, but I just heard. I feel like I need to watch it now. It's kind of like Spooky a Cannibal. I think in the end, the guy who was doing the video said that he ended up being a cannibal because his parents force-fed him his sister. That's so disgusting. So now I'm just like, ew, I don't know if I want to watch that movie, but I've never seen Silence of the Lambs. Maybe I will watch it one day now. But yeah, so thank you. I'm glad I got the movie right. So yeah, so those are some of the phases of workplace mobbing. And I thought that was important. And to tell you the truth, I wasn't really paying attention because I think it's going to sum up some of the things that TIs have experienced. So I suspect some get blacklisted after workplace mobbing and gang stalking too if you're thinking of bringing it into court. It's true. Not only, and you know what I think is important? You will get blacklisted. See, this is going to get complicated. I think so. So what I'm doing now during the holiday TI hour, what I'm doing is I'm kind of just touching on important things that TIs need to think about in order to survive this atrocity. Okay, this disgusting thing that they're going through. But I think it probably has to be dealt in a little bit deeper. And it's true. If you're thinking of bringing it to court, they will do everything to stop you from bringing it into court. They will, from the time you try to get a lawyer to the time if you even get to court, they will try to stop you from getting anything done. So you are very right on that. I just know that I'm going to ramble on and on if I get too deep into the whole workplace into that topic. So that's true. So those are 5 things that if you're TI and you're in the situation, you probably will experience. And I played that because I want you to recognize that. And I also want you to, and I'm sure if you're a TI, most TIs, they watch other videos, like, some of the ones I'm showing you. So you kind of know that, but if it's any validation, that was what that was for. And that wasn't even something geared towards TIs. That's just for the general public. So, and that's for the audience to know too, that some of the people who do the general workplace mobbing, they are part of the network. Now, I'm not saying that everyone who does that is part of the network. I'm saying that a lot of the people, you don't have to be a TI for these people to go after you. This is like a way of life for them. From what I've been observing, they start young. Before they're even potty trained, they are out there. Their parents are using them to hurt TIs. So this is part of their life. This is how they communicate and interact and work with people. This is how they think they should be interacting with other people. So even as an audience, so that's why you're going to see a lot of parallels between what TIs say and what TIs experience, and also what, the gang stalkers, and also what's happening in the broader scope in the general public that are not like directly TI gang stalker related. So a lot of the people and that's why I think the audience should be aware of it. because even if you're not a TI, even if a TI is not around, this person will use their psychopathy against anyone as long as they feel that it's important. And that's why I feel that I'm not trying to say that you have to go out and join the TI movement, but I feel that you need to know what's going on so you can protect yourself, because they're out there and maybe they may be focused on one TI, but they'll use their psychopathy traits, psychopathic traits generally also. And if they couldn't stop you and had to let you win, or yeah, definitely. Yeah, they hate losing. They are insane. I could go on and on and on about that. So that's it. And this is, I'm reading. If you don't see it on YouTube live stream, I'm not crazy. I'm reading it on what's it, TalkShoe. So I have a few people watching on TalkShoe, and I'm responding to their comments too. So if you hear me reading something and you're looking at chat and you're like, "There's nothing there, she's crazy," no, I'm reading stuff from TalkShoe also. All right, so that I'm gonna post the title of that video, and then I'm gonna read the last thing, and then I'm gonna start the general. Hold on. I'm so sorry. This was just all over the place. I would like to do a part 2 of this because I was late and I feel like I'm rambling. And then my mic, I'm not even sure if I recorded anything. So, so the next part is, and this is important actually. So if you're a TI and you're out there, well, of course, okay, let me read, this is a TI's experience that I'm reading, and then I'll go on from there. Let's see. I'm just gonna see if anyone, let's see. So, I mean, if you're on YouTube, you could go over to TalkShoe, and I don't think you have to create an account to replay the show. I think you just replay without an account. I hope so, but I mean, whatever. So if you want to see the comments that I'm reading from TalkShoe, you could just go to TalkShoe and replay, and then you'll see all the comments and stuff from the people who are joining on TalkShoe, which I think are pretty good. G5 touched on something that I think is so important. She says that, she or he, I'm sorry, says that narcissistic personality behavior is at the bottom of all this. And that's very important. I think I mentioned that last week too. This group is full of a bunch of narcissists and psychopaths. So, and there is a difference between a narcissist and a psychopath, and maybe I'll touch on that some other day. But yeah, so, and then I wrote back, whatever, let's see. I'm saying whatever to what I wrote. There are narcissists and psychopaths in this network. Knowing about these types of people is one of the most important steps in dealing with this network. So I'm glad that you're already doing that. So yeah, so if you want to start protecting yourself and know what you're fighting against or who you're fighting against, then you should really start learning about narcissists. And I think last week I got the title of the book wrong, The Sociopath Next Door. And I should give you the author's name. Let me look at the author's name, and then I'm going to read this TI thing, and then let's see. Sociopath Next Door. All right. Martha Stewart. Sorry, Martha Stout. So it's called The Sociopath Next Door, and it's by Martha Stout. And I think that is a very good read for those who are just starting to who are starting to see these people and what they're doing and see them for what they are, and they just want to learn. It's very basic. It's not very big. Well, she makes it really easy for people who are not psychiatrists or really and laymen, for people like me, to understand what's happening, especially when you're not you're not someone who's trained in the field of, you're not someone who specializes in psychopathy and psychopathic traits. She makes it very easy for you to kind of start understanding what's going on and seeing these people, because they do wear a human mask, and seeing them is so important. And seeing behind their mask is important. Those masks are on tight. oh yeah, they are on tight, but there are things that slide through and stuff, so you could know you're dealing with a psychopath. So that's a good place to start. So here's a TI experience. I'm gonna read to you. So here goes. I got a job working in a dress store. Hold on. Okay. I got a job working in a dress store and was content with my position, although some of the other employees let me know early on they were gang stalkers. I knew that I always had to be careful at every job because the gang stalkers had tormented and sabotaged me during previous jobs. I always crossed my T's and dotted my I's, even at this dress store, which was a simple retail position. I wanted a position with little male presence because I had bad experiences with the gang stalkers who bullied and tried to date me. They were perverted, aggressive, and obsessive, although I never dated them or showed interest. The first months were great. The first few months were great. It was a normal dress store. Rarely saw guys, occasionally saw kids, a normal but small amount of cattiness. This wasn't a regular dress store because customers usually had to make appointments to shop, and the regular cost of dresses usually started above $150. I'm not saying this to brag, but to give a picture of the type of environment that this store was before the gang stalkers swarmed it. So fast forward a few months later, the environment started to change. More gang stalkers applied for the job. The gang stalkers who already worked there got promoted, and anyone who wouldn't participate in the campaign against me got fired or bullied out. It was a whole new environment. Slowly but surely, more guys started coming to the store and applying to work at a dress store. Soon, the place looked like a unisex store as a group of guys came dress shopping with their girlfriends while bringing their own guy friends. Some guys would intentionally follow me around the store trying to bully me. Some even dared to come in without girls. A group of teenage boys came in without any girl with them and hung out in the shoe section for about half an hour and left without buying anything. These were not the type of guys who wanted to buy a dress or shoes. It was obvious they weren't there for the products, and a lot of times they didn't seem to be there to help the females they were with to find an outfit. Then the females would bring in kids and have the kids run around the store like it was a playground. The store sold a small section of little girl dresses, but it wasn't a kids' clothing store. Soon the place looked like a children's store, and the professional atmosphere disappeared while the customers were allowed to do anything they wanted and employees couldn't say anything to them. Since kids were running and playing around, the store started to have a lot of broken items and stains all over the place. If I was a customer and walked in seeing a bunch of guys hanging out and kids running around what was supposed to be a higher end dress store, I would walk right out. A customer actually did walk out because of this strange environment. There were also gang stalker females who pretended to be interested in the store's dresses only to cause problems for me and make fake complaints to get me fired. No matter how nice I was to them, some would still complain. One of the managers, who made it clear she was a gang stalker, jumped at the opportunity to use this to talk harshly to me and make me seem like the worst worker. Within a couple of years, the old managers were gone or on their way out, and a new management team was being put in place. They covertly let me know they were getting ready to make my life harder, so I left. I still liked the job and had no issues with the company, but the work environment and the new types of customers constantly ruined my day. I couldn't do it anymore. It was a base pay plus commission job, which means you get minimum wage and commission if you exceed certain sales goals. This was helpful because the extra cash from the commission came in handy. That would be good for TIs who don't have other forms of support in case they needed extra money. Straight commission isn't good because you get stressed out if you don't make commission. Base pay plus commission is better for TIs. I learned that customer service is hard for TIs because the gang stalkers can go to your job and cause so many problems. A lot of gang stalkers are trying to get me fired. They will try to push all your buttons because they know that you are at work and can't tell them off or walk away. There were so many times that I wanted to quit or tell a customer off, but I had to remember that there were bills to pay and kept calm. I wanted to get an office job where things weren't so open to the public and I was only dealing with a few gang stalkers while at work, but that could also get tiresome. I wanted to share my experience and hope that it helps TIs figure out things for themselves. So that's what I wanted to talk about. If you are a TI who has been able to get employment and keep employment, and one of the things, they not only try to get you fired, but as you can see in this situation, they were trying to get her to quit too, but making her job really stressful. And the main reason, and this is like sick, but one of the main reasons why they want you to get you to quit. So if we go back to welfare or welfare, being on welfare. So what they're going to do is they might have you, and this is really sick, but they're going to have you get a job, and then they won't fire you. A lot of times they won't fire you for some, like you could do whatever you want. They won't fire you. It's because they want you to quit, and they'll do things to get you to quit. And the reason why they want you to quit is because I think welfare has this rule. I forgot what the word just left me, where if you quit your job, you're not eligible for welfare for a couple of months. So imagine you quit your job and you can't get welfare because you quit your job. And a lot of people don't know that, that if you quit your job, I forgot what it was called. It's some kind of term they use, that the first thing I'm gonna ask you, do you have a job? Well, I had a job. Or when was the last time you worked? I worked so-and-so, did you quit your job? Yes. Well, sanctioned, I think it was sanctioned, something like that. And if you quit your job, you have to wait another 3 months before you get welfare. So in that time, guess who's going to be homeless if they don't have any more support because you can't pay your rent? And what they're going to do is in that 3 months, you're not going to be able to find a job because they're going to sabotage that. So you're going to be without money. You can't get public assistance because you're sanctioned. I think that's the word, sanctioned. And you're in a bad situation. You can't get public assistance. You can't find a job. Now you can't pay rent for 3 months, and you're dependent. So just be really, really careful if you're in a bad situation at work and you're like, I'm quitting, I'm out of here. I'll just be on welfare for a few months until I get a job, because they will sanction you, and then you're screwed. So that's why a lot of times if you're a TI and you're in a situation where they're doing a lot of stuff but they just won't fire you, that could be like one of their tactics also. So, and that's just to do this whole dependency thing. So one of the things that was mentioned in the letter was that, a lot of times, because this is a network, you're worried about your coworker. But if you're in a retail position or a customer service position, you got to be careful for the customers too. And when you're in a retail or retail, not only retail, anywhere in a store. So this happens in restaurants too. They'll come and they'll eat at your store and then complain about you. And I think retail covers all that. It covers restaurants, it covers stores, it covers anything that's open to the general public. And, you have to be careful in those situations, because what they're going to do is if you do anything, they want, and this is what I mean, like this is sick. And this is why companies and corporations need to learn about this stuff. Okay. Because let me tell you a few things that I've observed. Okay. So what they're going to do, is they're going to go in and they're going to go after the TI. The TI is working for you. Okay, for a corporation or business. So if the TI does something, they're going to try to sue the corporation or business for money. These people are out for money, okay? And that's going to suck. And then what I've also noticed is that if the situation that this girl's in, she works in a dress store, what happens is there's from what I've learned, there's a network of thieves out there. And I believe I think that network is connected to this gang stalking network. So I think once a TI goes in, okay, all the focus is on the TI. Everything. Everyone's just it's all about these TIs. Because if you're a member of the audience, what you need to know, because what I'm saying sounds weird, is that when a TI goes someplace, they have the network has a whole bunch of people go in after that TI. And what that does is for those people to serve as witnesses if something goes wrong. And what they're going to do, they're going to side with the other beast. Okay. And if you're new to this, I call gang stalkers beasts, not to insult them, but because it's how it's the only term that I could use to describe how I've watched them behave. So they're going to have all these beasts come in to act as witnesses, false witnesses to if something goes down. But what I think also is going on is once the attention is taken away from the TI, and if the gang stalkers do something to cause a scene, they're going to be stealing. because everyone is so focused on this TI, and they have these network of people focused on one person. No one's watching that person over there, and they start stealing from the store also. And that's what I've noticed happen too. So, and then on top of it, some of the managers that come in, they don't do what's right for the company either. So they might be taking stuff away from the company also. And that's the gang stalkers that come in. So you have to understand that this is a big operation. These people aren't just about taking out TIs. There's more to it than you think. I think, there's human trafficking involved. There's money involved in this. There's money involved in it. And the money involved in it and I think, well, I'm not going to go into that because I'm going to ramble, but I'm going to go back to the issue, which is, I think the best jobs, and I'm going to cut that off because I'm going to ramble on, and I have to start the next section. So one of the things mentioned was that TIs should get jobs that have a base pay plus commission. So let's say if you're $100 short for whatever, you need an extra $100 and stuff, that comes in handy because you could make that extra $100. So you don't have to go and ask someone, borrow it from someone, or, you don't need an extra job or whatever. You could, bust your butt and get that commission, and there goes your $100. You worked for it, So that's why I think, and that's why base pay plus commission would be a good thing for TIs. But in a lot of those situations, it's not easy because, as it was said, you have to reach certain sales goals before you get the commission. But it could still help, At least you get minimum wage, and then you could do the commission on top of it. So that's a good alternative too. Retail positions are easier for TIs to get into, but one of the things that was pointed out in the letter is that you have to be careful because the customers coming in will mess with you. And I think in any job, what you need to remember is that, as in anything, they're going to start applying to those positions, and they're going to start working there, and they're going to start harassing you at your job. And some of them will be managers, some will own the store, and there's like a whole bunch of stuff that's going. And I'm not saying, oh, well, you see, you're better off, you don't get a job. No, because the first video I played, he shows you all the benefits of getting a job if you can get one. And the one thing to remember is that some TIs, is not that they want to be unemployed. A lot of TIs just gave up because they're like, oh, these people are not going to let me get a job. And the reason, if you're the audience member, the reason why TIs don't think that they say they won't let me get a job is because these people will do any and everything to sabotage a TI getting a job. It's not easy for a TI to find a job, even in a time where, jobs are just being thrown at people, because these people, how they do it, and I know this is like far reaching, and it doesn't make sense. It sounds like the person's paranoid. This is a lazy person who's making up every excuse. No. So how they do it, and it's quite interesting, and at least I'll say one way that they do it that I've observed is that when you get a job, most people will send out resumes. Well, they could mess with your internet, your email. It's not crazy, and it's not an unheard of idea that people will hack into your emails and mess with your email. That's something that happens in the general public, right? In a non-TI situation. Well, those people, not those people, but this network uses the same kind of technology so that when a TI sends out the resume, who knows if the job ever got it. And most jobs right now require you to send in resume or apply through internet to get a job. So they sabotage that. A lot of TIs have said, they've sent out their resume or application, and they've called the place, and the place is like, I never got it. So it's like they have to do the extra steps. So if you're a TI and you're looking for a job, realize that maybe the place never got your application in the first place because these people are like, manipulating that. Another thing, and TIs, so one, how they keep TIs from getting job is they mess with their internet, their email and job application process, whereas, the application may have never gotten to the place. So you might want to try to apply in person. So applying in person, how does that work? Well, and this one may sound far-reaching, but I don't think it's unheard of. So since a person's being gang stalked, that means they're being watched and stalked wherever they go by multiple people. So if a TI, when you go for a job, they're going to know you're dressed a certain way, you're behaving a certain way. So when you go in and you apply for a job, as soon as you leave, someone might come in and say, oh, that girl's crazy. I just saw her last week and she was like high on drugs, running around the street. Oh my God. Or they might even lie and say, oh, I know that girl. She's insane. Oh my God. So they might come right after you apply for the job, and they might say stuff about you. If there's a gang stalker who already works there, they're going to talk crap about you, even if they don't know you, because they already work there and their opinion is going to be trusted. Oh, this is XYZ. They've been working here for years. So if XYZ is telling me this person is a piece of crap, I'm not going to hire them. So even when a TI goes to apply for the position, someone maybe might come in right afterwards. Someone may sabotage that. So that's another way that they don't get a job, you know, just by gossip and like saying false things about them. And then so call. So, okay, so you're like, okay, I'm just going to call in. Okay. So what happens is, and this happens with apartment finding too. So it's not unheard of for people to tap into your cell phone, listen to your conversations, or have your phone calls be redirected. This is what could happen to TIs too. And that's true for the general public. So you can imagine how this network can use that same tactic for TIs. So even if a TI calls in, to avoid the whole internet thing, to avoid the whole bad mouthing thing, there's still a chance that they're not even talking to anyone at the store. Their call may have been redirected to who knows what, the guy sitting camped outside their house in a car. You know, they're thinking they're talking to a manager, and it's really like the gang stalker that's parked outside in the car who's been there since last night doing God knows what, you know? So God knows what, who knows what. So it's like that too. So I'm saying that, and with that, all that being said, TIs, with all those things, and that's just some of the tactics that they use to stop TIs from finding jobs. So next time you see a TI and they say, I can't find a job, they're stopping me from finding jobs, they're not crazy. You know, they've been through stuff, and maybe they don't know how it's happening, but those are some of the ways that it's happening. And if you see that, how that could happen in the general public outside of this issue, you can see how that could how those same technologies could be used within a sadistic network trying to hurt an innocent person. So it's not far-fetched when a TI says, I can't find a job, they won't let me. And I just hope that, and I'm not trying to say that all TIs who say that are sincere about it or they've tried. I don't know every TI, okay? But some of them, you know, for the ones who are sincere and are trying, that's some of the reasons why they don't have a job. And so that being said, for you TIs, even though all those things are against you, some TIs do work. As you can see, I played a video for TIs who have work. I wrote a letter about TI who has a job. So don't let that discourage you from looking for a job, no matter what you've been through. I'm gonna yeah. So if you are on YouTube live stream, and you don't want to start TalkShoe account, go to TalkShoe and see if you could watch the video and the chat and review the chat so that you can see all the comments and stuff being read on being written on TalkShoe. All right, so with that, I've kind of gone over. I got to start TI Hour Random Talk. So TI Hour Random Talk, anything goes. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to end this podcast now. Live stream now, and then I'm going to come back in a few minutes with TI Hour Random Talk. Again, I'm sorry, this this live stream was like all over the place. I was late, so I apologize. It was a bit messy, but I hope you got something out of it. I probably will do a follow-up to this topic because I just don't feel like I presented it as well as I should have. So maybe one day, I don't know, I'll let you know. But right now, I want to thank everybody for watching. If you're writing on live stream, I'm operating on 2 different medias. Okay, I'm on YouTube and I'm also on TalkShoe. So if I didn't respond to your comment, don't think I'm ignoring you. So I'm going to shut this off. Thank you for watching. Thank you for participating and leaving a comment. Don't ever feel forced to leave a comment. If you want to just watch, I'm fine with that. Thank you for those who did leave a comment. Thank you for those who didn't leave a comment. Thank you for just watching. And I'm going to shut this off now, and I am going to start TI Hour in a few minutes. So I'll be back in a few minutes, okay? Thanks again.
Recording paused.